Well, first of all, namaste, everyone. Namaste means I honor you and you honor me. And so we should start by saying namaste to everyone. Now, as an immigrant, when you come into this country, you're not a financial immigrant. You come here because you want to improve on your life where you come from. So it doesn't matter whether you come from India or Afghanistan or Uganda or Kenya or Guatemala, you come here because you want to secure and you want the freedom, you want the ability to be prosperous and successful, because in those countries where we come from, either there is a political turmoil or is there an economic turmoil that's not allowing you to be who you are. So you come here as an immigrant for financial reasons. Because if you were extremely wealthy, I mean, let's be honest, if you were extremely wealthy in India, you wouldn't want to come to Canada because it's a little bit more difficult to live here than in India if you're an extremely wealthy person. So you come here because of financial reasons. You want to improve. So obviously you come with almost nothing in your hand. So my first goal in life has always been, well, you came here with nothing in your hand, so you might as well do everything in your life to gain that knowledge, that economic stability that you need. So my first goal has always been, you have nothing to lose, go out there and make an extremely strong effort in order to go out and do what you really feel like doing, which is an entrepreneur's spirit. Everybody in this world, every human being in this world has an entrepreneurial spirit, because we all love to dance to our own tunes, to our own way of being. So that's the most important thing. First thing I say is, go out. You have nothing to lose. You came here empty-handed, so you just have to go out and take the chances. But before you take those chances, you have to secure yourself, which means you need to find a job which pays your bills, takes care of your rent, takes care of your kids, takes care of your basic needs. Because you can't jump and become an entrepreneur right away, as you're going to need some stability. Some way you're going to need to understand the country that you're living in, the languages, the style of doing things, which means get yourself a job, even if it is at low income, and wherever you come from, maybe you are somebody who's, a doctor or a lawyer or somebody else, but get in here, work the system, get yourself in positive cash flow mode. Do not go in debt. The biggest issue sometimes I find is people come and, once you become a PR, you're allowed to have a credit card. You're allowed to have this. You're allowed to have that. And what happens is you borrow this money and you think that, oh, I'll pay for it next month. But the interest charges and everything else just knocks the hell out of you. And you're not able to, get yourself out of that system. So do not go in debt for sure, and make sure that you don't take these credit cards, and create yourself a financial stability. That is my number 2 point. Number 3 point is work within the system that you have. Rather than always criticizing that, oh my God, this doesn't happen or that doesn't happen. Once you're going to work, some avenue will open up for you. You will be able to figure out how to do that extra diploma. You will be able to figure out how you want to get to a next level, where you want to go, how do you want to proceed. But that happens when you go out, get out of the house. Because if you just stay in and you feel like, oh my God, I love my country where I came from and everything else, then you're emotionally burdening yourself down. You need to just go out and say, yeah, I am going to go and be successful, and go out and work. That is my number 3 point. Number 4 point is, after you worked and you have that financial stability and you're feeling good, then you should strategically think of when the time is right to take that leap and say, I don't need to work for anyone anymore. I don't want to work for anyone anymore. I am going to do this and this and this. But you provided yourself at least 6 months to a year, because any entrepreneur business is going to need enough cash flow to sustain yourself. And here's something that I'll tell you a story about. When I first opened the restaurant up, my breakaway point was $100 a day. If I sold $100 a day, I knew I was going to survive the next month. So for 30 days, if I sold $3,000 in sales, I knew my rent was $1,200, my food cost was this much, and I would survive. And some days I would only do $96 in sales, $97 in sales. And I would feel rejected because I would be like, oh, just missed it. And you know what I would do? I would go back to the cash register and ring in $3 of naan just to get myself over that $100 mark, just to feel good, just to make yourself feel better, to say, I did it. Because 2 days later, I would forget that I didn't do $100. But it was a mind game that we would play. And I would play that mind game with myself in order to feel better about myself. Because as immigrants, it is very tough emotionally to just get up in the morning and just be motivated and go out to work, especially if you've had not such a strong night. That is very, very important, is making the leap or taking the time when the time is right. When you know you have enough knowledge, you have enough financials, you have everything else that can sustain you for a little bit. My parents had come from India, and I knew that they had enough finances that even if for 6 months my restaurants were a little bit slow, I would be able to survive, for the 6 months. So I could go out and focus my energies like a laser sharp at creating the best food, creating the best service, getting the reviews that I needed and I wanted, to take it to a different level altogether. Then I would say is, once you've taken that leap, work your damn hard. And I worked so hard in order to get to this point, because I didn't think it was like Saturday and I should take a day off. I was like, somebody would call up at 9:15 and say, can we come in? I'll be like, yeah, come on in. I didn't say, oh, I close at 9 o'clock tonight, or I'm not that busy, so I'm going to go home. Because I didn't allow that. I knew that one customer at a time would build this restaurant for me. One person would go out and tell 5 other people. And that's exactly what happened. A cold November night, freezing cold outside, raining, phone rings, somebody calls up and says, I just want to come in. I've heard about your restaurant. I had almost shut the restaurant down because it was so cold and wet outside. And I was like, yeah, come on in. That person came in. I welcomed them with open arms. I wished them all the best. And I served them delicious food. That happened to be one of the most important food writers for us in Vancouver. She wrote a really glowing article about the fact that she came and she had the food and service and everything else. And she wrote a great article. And that was my first step towards becoming a self-sufficient restaurant owner. November. So 2.5 months, imagine, since September I opened till November, for 2.5, 3 months, I was panicking inside. I didn't know whether I was going to survive or not. I knew that I was going to be hurting. But that taking that chance, so as an entrepreneur, you need to take the chance and be there all the time for somebody, whoever walks into your door. Very, very important. You have to work extremely hard. There is no pill of success. It's not like you can get up in the morning and say, I'm going to take this pill and tomorrow morning I'm going to be successful. You've already taken the journey. You've already been moved and grafted from the country of your origin. Whether you come from Syria or Afghanistan or India, things are different back home. So you're going to be, it's like, think of it as a tree. Your branches have been cut off, and you are a tree that's grafted on a North American rootstock. You're a different place. You have to survive. There's no other question about it. You have to work hard and survive at it. That's the biggest thing I would say is work hard. You have to work hard in order to survive. Then, when you're working hard, use organizations like DIVERSEcity. Go to them and say, I need help. I need my help with my resume. I need my help in figuring out what I need to do. There are enough Canadian organizations that do a fantastic job of welcoming you into this country and have great programs. Go out, even if language is a barrier for you. If you speak Spanish and you don't speak English, make sure you go to these places. They have translation services. They will help you. They are here to guide you in the right direction. You become a friend with the counselor that's guiding you in the right direction. And what happens with that is you feel confidence. You feel confident in building this relationship because somebody is giving you great ideas. It's not like you're just not using an organization. The government and the organizations like DIVERSEcity help young entrepreneurs to become more successful. And you may have been successful in wherever you came from, but this is your new country. This is your new land. You need to be successful there. And work hard at it, right? So if you're working an 8-hour shift somewhere, let's say you're working at 7-Eleven for an 8-hour shift, don't go home and watch television for another. Do something else with it. Go to DIVERSEcity, learn, take the courses. In order to become successful, you have to play that game of that I'm available, I'm working hard, and I'm here if any organization needs me. Then you can climb the ladder. And I always say, it doesn't mean that you need to always open up your own business. What I mean by that is, even if you're working in an organization, but you're making a difference in that organization, that means you are an entrepreneur. You're making changes. It doesn't always have to be your money. An entrepreneur can be, I treat this business as mine. I treat this restaurant as mine. And I say this, my women in the kitchen, or our women in the kitchen who work, they don't treat this as, oh, this is Vikram Vij's kitchen, or this is somebody else's. They treat it as like it's their house. How would they do? Would they waste something? Would they grab something? Would they not throw anything away? So those are the things that you need to treat, that position of yours, because it's been given to you. And work hard, smartly. You can go out and work hard, a 14-hour shift, but you always need to have a strategy of how am I going to do something different or more down the road. That's the key. The key is always having that final goal of where I want to be in 5 years from now or 10 years from now, and pursuing it, laser focus on the goal that you have. And I'll give you an example of this. I was 17 years old. I was about to go to Austria to become a chef. And I was asked to make a menu. And I didn't want to just make a menu up. I was asked to make a menu for the restaurant that I may ever have. And I made a menu up. It's made of wood. I didn't know how to carve. I made of wood. But imagine this. In 1984, I left home, and it says Vij Hotels established 1984. In 1984, I had put a goal and said, one day I'm going to have a chain of restaurants and I'm going to do something different. And that's the goal I've always been working towards. That is the goal that I've worked at. And I think everybody that has come from, doesn't matter which part of the world you come from, you have the opportunity here to be successful if you work hard, you work with integrity, you work with focus, you work with love and compassion. You will be very, very, very successful. Namaste.